So she wasn't directly announcing that the bill was high or saying anything direct. She was, going on and on about the government method to support sustainability within the community. And it's not like saying, oh, we're using too much of something, we need to help try and reduce it. The first, hour was like a speech on sustainability, like the government initiative. If you go to the dump too many times, they're going to charge you. And, they want people to reduce how much they use, how much boxes or hard waste they have, and she began supporting the method of doing only one shower a day and using a worm farm to recycle the things that are normally put in the recycling bins. And then she asked my opinion, and I said, well, that's ridiculous. I mean, the government initiative is to make people think about it, but there are people using small amounts of waste and people using large amounts of waste. And it's obvious that the people who are using large amounts of waste are the ones that should really focus on reducing, as opposed to the people who are using small amounts of waste. So if the government has an initiative, I mean, sure, it applies to everyone, but people who already have a reasonable shower twice a day, they don't have to think about reducing their already reasonable shower time of, say, 10 minutes to 5 minutes. And if they take 5 minutes, they don't have to reduce it to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Where it's people who take an hour to have a shower and have a shower like 3 times a day who might want to reduce from 1 hour to 30 minutes or 30 minutes to 15 minutes. So the initiative, you don't have to notice it if you don't feel like you're not wasting that much resources. I mean, yeah, there's an initiative, but you have to be able to I mean, you don't want to reduce something that's already a reasonable limit, to say have a 5-minute shower twice a day. People think, oh, the government comes out with some initiative, so that I have to have 2 minutes and 30-second showers once a day, and that will reduce water usage. People don't have to do that. If they're taking 5 to 10 minutes a shower, even twice a day, that's a lot less than someone who takes an hour to have a shower 3 or 4 times a day. People do shower for that long. And so, obviously, the person who uses the more shower might want to reduce, but the person who already uses a reasonable amount wants to reduce. So, when you think about this household, we put the recycling bin out once a fortnight and the garbage bin once a week. The garbage bin isn't always full. Sometimes it's half full. The recycling bin, however, gets really full. So that's great because it means that the household is recycling. But she thinks that's bad because that's a lot of garbage to go into the recycling. And it should be going onto our own version of on a worm farm so the worms can break down the garbage. So, and you're just thinking, no, I think it should be going into the garbage bin, the recycling bin, which is already an initiative itself, because you're separating normal garbage to recycling. And that recycling bin should be going to a plant, otherwise you can have garbage in your backyard. And to have a bin's worth of garbage every fortnight dumped in your backyard, it's going to create health risks and big piles and attract the rodents that you're always not wanting to attract. And stuff like that, I think we're already being responsible by putting things in the recycling bin and taking the recycling bin, and even doing it once a fortnight is responsible because it means if you're reduced enough to do it once a fortnight, whereas most people do it once a week. So, but then near the end, after a very long conversation of sustainability within a government perspective and within the household perspective, and do I feel the need for it? No, not really, because I think the household is being responsible. But then right at the end, she says, well, the power bill came up to $500. And I thought it'd be like your sister's power bill, who has solar power, and it's only $70. And she thinks there's something wrong with the household, and I would say fair enough. But she's blaming me already. So I'm surprised she's not asking me to fork out half the money. But she's blaming me already. But I think it's her usage. We had a fluorescent light, one of those really bright lights that was being used as a lounge room light for a couple months. She was using that until she got down lights. And I have no idea how much down lights are, but obviously the halogen light is quite expensive. I mean, my sister used to have a halogen light, and when the bills cost over $70 to use it, and I don't know what kind of usage it was, she was told not to use it very much anymore. And so she immediately stopped using it, and it started collecting dust. So now we've switched from that halogen light that was being the background light in the lounge room, because you can't put the top light on, otherwise you can't see the TV screen. So we had that halogen light serving as a light, number one. I guess that could have sucked up quite a bit of electricity. She uses the heater whenever she comes home, watches TV, maybe 4 times a week for 3 hours. She puts the heater on, has the heater on for however long she's watching TV. And then she goes to bed. And I've used the heater like twice. I used it yesterday and I used it last week. Other than that, I haven't really used the heater, so I've left it alone because heaters are normally expensive. And that's the first thing that my dad turns off whenever he's got a high electricity bill, because he knows that the heaters are expensive. So she didn't think her usage of the heater could have brought the bills up. But if it is her usage, she's the one that's using the heater most of the time. So once again, her usage is being overlooked. But that's something that could definitely have brought up the electricity, because heaters are expensive. Even if you use it 3 hours a day, heaters eat up the energy. And then she's blaming the lights. And I'm like, well, the lights are already turned off most of the time. They're only turned on after it gets dark, after 5 p.m. And they're off again by 10:30. So it's 5.3 hours in a day that they're being turned on at all. And when they are turned on, there's like 3 lights on, plus the outdoor lights, which can turn on and off whenever. So there's like 3 lights or 4 lights that are consistently on. The one in the lounge room, the one in the hallway, in the foyer door, the one in the kitchen, and one in the bedroom. And of course, when that one's turned off, it might have switched the one in the study, because people are usually either occupying the bedroom or the study. So I have no idea where the electricity hikes are coming from. I would say it might be the fluorescent light that was being used for the lounge room light, and I have no idea how much the downlights are costing, but who knows, maybe downlights are expensive. I'm expecting they're just like ordinary lights and they're not that expensive, but I would guess the heater is the other thing. And then she's talking about reducing shower. Like, the first thing she said was reduce showers, reduce the recycling. She's going to put the recycling on the top of a worm farm that she's going to have in the backyard, and the worms are going to eat the recycling instead of the recycling going to the dump, and stuff like that. And I'm like going, no, those don't seem like great ideas. And then she was like saying, oh, maybe it's the way you use a washing machine. She said one large wash a week instead of several small washes, and I use the washing machine once or twice a week. And I'm like going, well, I'm already using the washing machine, especially since I got a basket to put my laundry in. Because, and I've taken heaps of my clothes out of storage. I've still got some more in storage, but I've taken a heap out. So I've got more than one shirt to wear and stuff. So she thinks that I do, like, laundry almost every day, which is true. I was for a short time, but then I realized, but then I got some other clothes and I began wearing those instead of just the same thing all the time. But I, on a general scale now, I do the laundry like twice a week at most, or once a week. And she's like, oh, maybe it's the time of the day you do the laundry. We've got peak hours, non-peak hours with the electricity savings. And I'm like, well, during the day, I'm not even here. I don't use electricity a lot during the day. I don't even use the computer during the morning, which I used to. Because, when living by myself, I try and earn money using my computer. At the moment, I'm using it only a little bit because I've been spending my morning exercising and getting ready to go out, and then I've been going out, and then I come back by 2 p.m. And that is when I turn on the computer after 2 p.m. I'm usually on the computer by 3. I use it till 5. And then I log off to do some more exercise or something else. And then sometimes I watch TV. And then it's after 9 p.m. I go on the computer once again to be able to do more computer work. So I don't think it's the lights. I think it's her use of the fluorescent light in the lounge that was used as a backup lamp, and the heater, possibly. But she's immediately blaming me. And she's not really listening that much to suggestions. And I'm not just thinking, I don't want to listen to this. I know it's sort of important if the bills are up. But she wasn't direct about it. First she was talking about she doesn't want so much stuff in the recycling bin, which is one of the concepts. And she doesn't want you using the washing machine at certain times during the day. But she's not letting in the fact that I don't use anything in an abnormal amount. Twice a week laundry isn't abnormal, And I use it at most twice a week. At least I use it once a week. So I was a bit annoyed with the concept. Hang on, I've got to answer the phone.